Okay, in this video, I'm going to be covering how to become the most irreplaceable valued asset in any company and make more than 90% of CEOs as well as online businesses in 2024 and for the next decade. Okay, and I throw this term out a lot. Entrepreneur. That is what I'm going to be covering. What is an entrepreneur? Now, the reason I can claim this right here is, and what I'm going to be going over in this video is by acquiring real skill sets that are in demand in today's market that allowed me to go from a poor first generation nobody to generating a $4.1 million client portfolio. My name is AJ. I'm the founder of Innovate and the Concierge. And the reason I make these videos without any high edits or any of the fancy stuff is because that didn't help me on the startup. Because I know a lot of people that watch my videos, they're looking to make money. And I was in the same position as you, looking on YouTube, trying to make money online, and never really getting any free value, or I guess not necessarily free, valuable value through a lot of the YouTube videos that are out there right now. So I make these videos like this because this is straight to the point, real value that you can go out and use and make money tomorrow. All right. So what we're going to cover in today's presentation, I'm going to be uncovering why online business models are the hardest path to success with a 99% failure rate. All right. I'm also going to cover the 100% cash flow vertical and avenue to be making money today and how irreplaceable skill sets are allowing people to make a lot of money, the vehicles that billionaires would hop back into if they had lost everything, as well as lastly, how every single business model or whatever business operates. Okay. So let's get straight into it. So $500,000 from not even starting a traditional online business model. That is my first company. I was able to generate $500,000 without starting a traditional online business model. All right. My first company ever was the Concierge. Now, this was a sales firm that hyper focused in being able to help businesses, agencies, coaches be able to scale their offers on the internet. All right. So, and the way that I was making money at first, obviously I owned the sales firm, but the way I made my original money was I didn't even start a business. I didn't even have to handle fulfillment, spend money on ads, make a website, spend thousands or anything upfront at all. I didn't have to pull all-nighters, a hustle to do a lot of work. I didn't have to test products, learn 1,000 things, compete in outdated models like dropshipping or whatever. And I didn't have to manage anything. All right. So in order for me to generate this money, I didn't do any of these things that the other models bring onto you. Right. So working harder, and I learned this the hard way, working harder does not mean you're getting more done. Right. The more YouTube videos you watch doesn't mean you're actually going to make more money. Right. And you shouldn't want to overcomplicate business more than it already is. Trust me, I've learned this the hard way. All these models like SMMA, dropshipping, Amazon FBA, trading, real estate, TikTok shop, clothing brand, copywriting, YouTube automation, an agency, affiliate marketing, and crypto. I have looked into every single one of these and I have tried every single one of these before. So I make these videos also for you to learn from my mistakes because I've already tried what you are pretty much going through right now. And this was after I tried all the shiny object models that were going around, right? And I learned it the hard way that it's just like it's shiny object syndrome. They just don't teach you how to build an actual business, right? So back to the beginning of me saying I was going to cover what an entrepreneur is, and this is how I made my original money, was entrepreneurship is very simple and it's not talked about enough. Only the highest people that I've seen podcasts talk about this for some reason, but basically it's people that actually have made money as well. Like Andy Frisella, he's talked about entrepreneurship. It's not like some little internet money from dropshipping or whatever, but an entrepreneur is a person with a high caliber skill set that businesses need. Period. End of story. And I'll repeat it again for you guys because I want to emphasize this. An entrepreneur, yes, not entrepreneur. An entrepreneur is a person with a high caliber skill set that businesses need. Period. That's how I made my first $500,000. That's it. I had a high caliber skill set that a business needed, right? So I'm gonna give you an example. Sales, right? Sales is a high caliber skill set, and there's not enough good people that are in sales, right? So I'm gonna give you a real-time implementation. Me, first business skill I ever learned how to make money with. As soon as I stopped focusing on the business models that you guys are seeing right now, that you see all these kids post about, until I actually focused on real skill sets like sales, that is when I made my first money. I bought Andrew Tate stuff. I bought a bunch of other programs before. It didn't really teach me that stuff. But until I actually learned a high caliber skill set like sales, that is when I made my first money. I learned sales, and essentially I took that skill set into a vertical of making money. And the vertical that I hopped into, I really just doubled down and became the best person in that space and became irreplaceable. That's how I made money. And this is what a lot of people won't tell you on the internet is if you just really want to make money in business, develop real skill sets and a story, right? Which resulted in businesses paying me a lot of money, right? And I picked the most in-demand way of making money today. Not years ago, where dropshipping might have made you rich, a decade ago, today, 2024, right? Which is appointment setting and remote closing, right? You probably heard both of these terms before, but both of these are in massive demand because real talent, like people that are actually sales professionals, they are needed in the market right now. Like real talent is non-existent, which is leaving a massive opportunity, which gave me an opportunity to make a lot of money. It can make you a lot of money as well, right? Because the talent in the space is awful. So I made this little lucid chart for you guys as well. This goes over pretty much any business ever. And if you don't know what remote closing is, an appointment setting is, I make videos on my YouTube. You can go check out. I'll probably leave a link somewhere in the corner, top of this video, or even in the description for you guys to understand what I'm talking about so you guys can go get context. All right. So this is essentially what I was doing and how I made money. There was businesses, agencies, and coaches and consultants that had leads, right? They run some sort of offer. If you don't know what that is, please go watch the video that I'll leave somewhere in here to get context so you can understand better, right? They had leads and they had conversations with them. And it wasn't the business owners that had them, it was the appointment setter, right? All the setter has to do is either have a simple conversation and see if they're a good fit for the company through a text or a phone call and send calendar links. This is one way that I made money by texting. You can make money just by sending texts for companies on the company's behalf, right? And there's a closing call where the closer comes in and hops on a Zoom call and actually close the deals. And especially in the space that I was in, if you do not suck, closing deals over Zoom and collecting money is like the easiest thing because they already want the thing from the company. Okay. That is as simple as it gets. There is a business out there, a lot of them, a lot of agencies, a lot of coaches that have leads where they need people to have conversations with them and close them on the company's behalf. You have never seen Alex Hormozy take one of his recent calls for one of his programs, or Andrew Tate, or Patrick Bet-David, or people at the very, very top, Tai Lopez. You are not seeing him take these calls because he has people take them on their behalf, right? And which equals money. And then I have also examples of here that you've probably seen, like Ebon, Sebastian Georgiou, and then Serge. These are the companies that you would want to work with and make a lot of money with. Okay, so if you want to get paid like the top 1% without taking on any of the risk, without starting a business from scratch, zero upfront, zero fulfillment, zero management, embrace this vertical and go watch the video that I posted if you don't have context. So, and I'm going to go over a really, really good example. Alex Hormozy. Everyone should know him. If you don't, you're living under a rock. Go check out his page. He has a lot of good stuff on there. And I have this title up here, $1.7 million a year for having a simple skill. I'm going to give you context on that. So with Gym Launch and Alex Hormozy's company, right, they did $17 million in a year with his business, right? And do you think he was the sole person taking every single one of those calls or leads? No. And I'm going to give you industry standard, all right, for what I'm talking about. A closer alone will get 10% for closing a deal. Now, let's say Alex Hormozy had just one closer. 10% of $17 million is $1.7 million. So someone, let's say and this is hypothetical, someone, if he had one closer, took home $1.7 million for having a simple skill of talking to people on the phone and closing deals. Okay, and the way that his offer worked was obviously it was a 10K to 16K offer, right? It was the gym niche, $17 million, and it was in the online education niche, which is a $1 trillion industry, and he basically helped gyms scale up the gyms. That's it. He helped gyms make more money, right? Gym launch, and he sold it for a lot of money. Now, why does he have someone taking these calls? Because they don't have the time to take these calls, talk to thousands of people that want or need their service. And if he can't talk to these people and he's getting so much traction for his business, it is just wasted money if they don't get responded to. All right. And Alex Hormozy is just one example. Okay. And that is why one of the most in-demand skill set in today's market is appointment setting and remote closing. Sorry, remote closing or high ticket sales in general is the vertical that I used. The skill set is sales. Okay. And it is a perfect time to start right now because there will only be more Alex Hormozis. There will be more businesses. There will be more agencies. There will be more coaches. And who do you think is going to supply these businesses with talent? Because there's thousands of them every single day, which I cover later in the presentation. But who is going to be taking those calls for all these other businesses? Because this applies to the thousands of businesses on the internet. Okay. There were 1,300 millionaires slash businesses every single day. Every single one of these businesses employ and need entrepreneurs. They need talent. They need people that have skill sets. Okay. And this is building one of the biggest gaps in the market. Okay. If there's 1,300 businesses every single day, and the talent is already bad. The talent is already bad because I've been in it for a year now, and I've actually seen the talent in the market. There's 13 businesses every single day, and we're already running out of high caliber talent. There's not enough good people. So this is the perfect time, if not yesterday, to have started this, because basically the supply for the high caliber talent and the demand for it is outrageous. The demand completely outweighs the supply for right now, which is causing a gap in the market where you guys can be making a lot of money. The demand has skyrocketed for high caliber talent because the amount of businesses that are being created daily is outrunning our talent in the market. Okay. That's why I made this because it's really, really important. There's a big gap in the market right now for you guys to be making a lot of money. And this is coming to a statement that I always like preach on all my socials and stuff like that. It's a mistaken approach. A beginner, a brand new beginner, you're always going to say, oh, I want to start an online business, but you have less than $5,000 as a beginner, brand new with zero business knowledge. You have zero skills, zero knowledge, and zero cash flow to already reinvest into your business. That is a mistaken approach. I never understood why so many people fail at starting an online business, but it's because you never really develop a real skill set with all the businesses that are getting pushed out today. You just don't. You never develop real skill sets that will propel you in business, like sales, especially the people that I've worked with and a lot of the partners. I'm surprised that not a lot of people understand sales, right? So, and you guys go into complicated models with variables that nobody will really help you get around ever. So, and I also made this as well so you guys can get a better understanding. I don't understand why everyone is pushing an online business model when it has a 99% failure rate. Okay, the CEO, the person that takes all the risk, all the headache, Most models right now are too complicated for you guys to navigate. You guys have to handle all the fulfillment, manage all the assets, learn thousands of different things, and at the end, your expenses will outweigh the profits because you don't know how to manage and maintain a budget within your business. And that's why 99% fail at being CEOs, because you guys don't develop real skill sets as a beginner. No one teaches you real skill sets of how to run a business. All while people like myself that you might think that is just lapping you guys, or sorry, that is lapping you guys. I have a 100% success rate because I started off as an entrepreneur and I partnered up with someone else who already had millions with a 100% success rate. And I didn't start a business. I was working from anywhere with a phone and Wi-Fi. I was taking calls out of my car sometimes. I didn't need to build a website. I didn't need any upfront capital, zero ads that I had to spend to make money, and zero marketing. How are you going to beat me? How? Right? So, and this is I'm not just saying this, like 99% of people fail as CEOs. It is a given stat. It is a genuine statement that 20% of new businesses fail within their first year, 30% by the end of their second year, 50% by the fifth year, 70% by the 10th year, and only 25% survive 15 years or more. Why? Because people on the internet are pushing these stupid online business models, not teaching you real skills how to scale any business at all, and saying that you'll get rich 10K a month by dropshipping, relying on trends through TikTok to make money. And I never got that, right? So, and I also, this is also one thing I always preach of the things that I have actually gone through. Everything that I'm presenting right now, I have actually done exactly what I'm saying I'm doing. And majority of my success came from learning from within. All right. Well, everyone around me and a lot of my friends that were starting online businesses, I doubled down on investing into myself and learning from others that were making a quarter mil a month, 4 mil a month. And by partnering with them as one of their closers or setters, I saw what their backend ecosystems looked like. And I understood how money was really being generated at the highest of levels, and basically getting paid to learn as well. I was getting paid to close deals. And while I was closing the deals, I was learning from the people that I was working with, right? I brought value to the CEOs that I work with by closing their deals and generating them more money and more business, right? Like Toozer, like Brian Page, like Jeremy Miner as well. Real winners that actually make money with their business models that are helping people get into this business model. Through this, I saw and understood that it's not a business model that got them rich. And this is where I gained insight into all of their sales infrastructures, their entire ecosystem, and their acquisition of their businesses that they were running, right? And it was genuine talent. It was genuine talent and knowledge that was scaling their real businesses, not some dropshipping shit. And the crazy part is they needed more talent. Every single one of these guys needed more me's. They needed more me's. Like they would pay a large sum of money for more me's to work in their business and pay me a lot more money. That is the crazy part. In demand at the highest levels, quarter mil a month, 4 mil a month, they are still needing talent. People at the top. All right. And this is an implementation at the highest level. All right. So this is a $150 million lesson from Luke. You guys should recognize him. He is like the third centerpiece behind the Tates, right? So I'm going to ask you this. Is Luke a CEO? No. Did he start a business? No. Did he spend money on ads? No. Did he take on any risk? No. Did he rely on any trends to make money? No. Right? Obviously, this is a very extreme situation. I have other examples, but this is just to get my point across. How does Luke make money then? How does Luke make money then? He acquired high caliber skill sets that the Tates needed because they were too busy doing other important tasks to keep the business afloat. And now he's worth $150 million. That is insane. That is insane for a person. And a lot of you guys that struggle to make money online, he didn't start a business and he's worth $150 million. Like I said, this is an extreme because the Tates are the number one people in the space right now, right? I have other examples. Extreme example, Tates are the two fastest growing creators, right, in the past decade, but the lesson still stands. Although extreme, what about the millions of other business owners besides the Tates? Who is servicing these guys? No, nobody. Nobody. The 1,300 business model, 1,300 businesses that are being generated every single day. Who's servicing those people? Do all of those guys have a Luke? No, nobody. Because the talent is in demand right now. And this is where you guys can make a lot of money. I am a byproduct. I understand that like talent is needed. Another lesson, a bigger lesson, close to $500 million from Chris. $500 million is a lot of money for an entrepreneur, right? He had a high level skill set. He was in demand at the startup. And if this happened in that company, why are you not starting this entrepreneur business model with other companies? Because I did. Because is he a CEO? No. Did he start an online business? No. Does he know 1,000 things? No. He saw an already built business, partnered up with them because he had a high level skill set, a high caliber skill set that the business needed, and he worked inside the business that was guaranteeing him cash flow. Right? So an entrepreneur, high level skill set, a real skill, leveraged another business. That is it. $500 million, more money than 99% of these online people will ever see. That is insane. And it's not talked about enough. Right. And I mean, I asked this question: why would you want to start your own business as a complete beginner with zero skills, zero knowledge, nothing about the market that you understand, and have to deal with massive, massive competition with people that will just always beat you? Ty Lopez will always beat you at econ. He always will. Sam Evans, he'll always beat you at tech. Alex Hormozy, he'll always beat you if you compete in this avenue as a beginner. So why would you do it? Right. So this is also something I want you guys to realize is, and the way I look at it, there's always four ways to pursue any model, especially if you're looking to get into one right now. If you're looking at ways to make money, there's four things I want you guys to look at before I go into obviously the next part of the presentation. But there's four ways, right? So capital upfront. Before starting an online business model, do real market research and understand how they really work. Like really understand how it works, right? And I'm going to show you an example. Real estate. Everybody knows deep down that real estate is an amazing way to make money if you have enough cash flow to start making large investments and then turn money into money. But in order to get that capital that is required is large amounts of capital, which you, as a beginner, probably don't have. You probably have less than $20,000 to make right now, right? So that's why it's not a beginner-friendly model, right? For someone to learn, because even if they do get into it, how can they convince a person to buy damn houses if they don't understand sales? This goes back to the basic principle that I talked about in the beginning of the presentation. High caliber skill sets. You still need the skill set of sales, even if you hop into this model, this vertical of real estate, right? Real skill sets that you can always fall back on. Okay. So a lot of models work, but the fact is that they developed real skill sets beforehand. Right. And I have another presentation for you as well. Like entry level business models that will require a lot of like less capital, zero, which is where I was. Mid level, 10,000, higher level, 100,000, apex, million plus. Like when people say they want to get into investing as a beginner, that doesn't make sense. Well, you're gonna turn your $10, get what, like a 0.2x, and then get $10.50. No, it only works if you have $10 million to invest And then you turn that $10 million into 10.5, and then you just made 500K, whatever. That's when it works, right? So there's the models that you guys are looking at. Please do your research on every single one of them, right? Next one is the barrier to entry, the level of difficulty that it'll take to make the business model work. Look at the complexities of the business. How many variables do you actually need to rely on to reach the end result? This is a massive, massive mistake for beginners when they want to make their first online money. Yes, the bigger the risk, the bigger the reward, like trading, but that's like shooting for a home run as a brand new beginner in baseball. This is your first time at bat and you want to shoot for a home run. You say, let's say you're not Mike Trout. You're not going to smack it out of the ring on your first ever time at bat. You need to go through some training. You need to go develop skill sets first, right? You need years in the game to learn, adapt, and develop yourself to start smacking home runs. That's the same principle in business. I don't understand why some people just go, all right, the bigger the risk, the bigger reward. I'm going to go this as a complete beginner. Well, then if it fails, you have nothing left to be backed up on. And that's why 99% fail, right? So this is a term everyone should be familiar with if you want to make money, which is the barrier to entry. What's the difficulty of the model? What's the capital to enter? What's the knowledge you'll need to make the model work? And what's the model rely on for you to make money? All things that go into what is required to make the model flourish. Okay. And you'll find, if you do your research, you'll find that majority of models are just incomplete and unpredictable, which is just like side hustle stuff. It's distracting you from actually starting real business. And I know this because I was in your exact position. Okay. So, and this is where I'm going to go into the model that is infinitely scalable right now, and it is a trend right now, which is info. If you don't understand the info space, I have full breakdowns on my channel. If you're new to this channel, go check out previous videos so you can get context. And then I also have a free resource doc with hours of free stuff for you guys to learn from in the description. All right, it's type form. If you just put in your info, it'll send you all of my free resources for free. Right, because I make, like I said, at the beginning of this video, I make these videos because I know I would want this for when I was starting out. So I didn't have to go through the bullshit models that just don't work and that are outdated. Right. So if you want more free stuff, go to the description, fill out the type form. Okay. So, and yeah, I cover a lot of stuff. And if you do go watch those videos, you'll understand why you need to become an entrepreneur first, especially starting out. And I have this diagram that I have in a lot of my videos because it needs to be emphasized and it's really, really important. Okay. The model and the vertical that I hopped into is an evergreen trillion-dollar market, which is guaranteed to make money. And there is crazy demand. And it is the number one way that I found. I'm not saying that a lot of models are flawed because I have friends that make a lot of other models work. Right. I'm not saying that they're completely broken because I have friends that make money in other different avenues. But the number one way for me and the number one way for you, especially if you're a beginner, to assure you that you will never ever go broke again, is to develop real skill sets that you can rely on rather than side hustles that rely on trends. Partner with those who already have what you want. Learn from the inside, which is exactly what I did. I learned the ecosystems from people already making $250,000 a month, $4 million a month. I learned from the inside on how money was actually generated by providing my skill sets and working with them. If you want to, if you still want to start it, you can always start it after you create cash flow as well. And then you'll have more money to reinvest. Like if you still want to start your clothing brand because you're passionate about clothes, that's fine. But what's going to scale that clothing brand more? If you have $5,000 starting out as a complete beginner, or if you have a year in the game, you understand how business works. You understand how sales works. You understand your market and what it takes to actually make that model work, and then start it with 100K cash because businesses are paying that amount of money. Which person is going to succeed more? The person, yourself, beginner, $5,000, or the person that's a year into a game, partnered up with someone that's already made a quarter mil, 4 mil, and stacked up 6 figures. So now that you can start your clothing brand, obviously it's the second one. I don't need to explain that to you guys. So I've partnered in the e-commerce niche. I've partnered in the fitness niche, the clothing brand niche, content agency, the side hustle biz op niche, tech and AI, a trading niche, marketing, solar, pretty much damn near every single niche. And the insight that I saw into every single one of these was the talent was non-existent. In a $1 trillion industry, there is a huge gap in that $1 trillion industry, $10 trillion industry. There's a massive gap in it. Okay. And I made 2 diagrams to basically let you guys understand more by pictures, because I understand by pictures a lot. But essentially, whenever a model pops into the market, 2 things happen. There's always supply and there's always demand with any business. And this was the insight that I took from today's market by analyzing the people at the top, right? The people that are doing 4 mil a month. There's a $1 trillion industry, right? And let's say the e-com niche, fitness niche. Let's say all these dots are other different niches pulling from this one little pool of money, right? That's how it works. Every niche in the online space is pulling from this massive market. But there's a caveat that we are running into, okay? Because there's 2 sides. There's 2 sides. There's the supply, right, which everyone are pulling from, and then there's the demand, right? So it looks like this. There's 2 sides, supply, demand. These are the people with the business owners, like the people making $250,000, whatever, a month. And then there's the other side, which is the talent that allows that business owner to generate that amount of money. And how I use this gap to make my first online money. This is the exact reason I made my first online money. Remote closers, appointment setters. So let's say people are running offers in an e-commerce niche. This is an e-com niche. Well, guess what? You're going to need talent to supply your business in that niche. There's two sides to business. Okay. So, and this is also one thing. Remote closers and appointment setters that are good, that are like not terrible. That's also one thing. Good remote closers and good appointment setters that are actually talented is the most in-demand resources for these business owners right now, because the education industry is outgrowing the supply by 10x. All right. Now, this is also results that I normally present at the beginning of my presentations, but this is exactly what allowed me to generate exactly $400,500,000 right here in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 months. More money than majority of people will ever see in 8 months, right? So, and I'll give you 3 really, really good examples. And this is something that I talked about at the beginning of the presentation. 3 people that understand the law of business, excuse me, and generating money online. And they're all billionaires. Every single one of them are billionaires. All right. So Mark Cuban, serial entrepreneur. He understands this principle. Patrick Bet-David, billionaire. He understands this principle. Top G, I probably can't say his name because maybe this video will get taken down. But he is also a billionaire, and he understood what the backbone, or sorry, all 3 of these guys understand the backbone of business. Every single one of these business owners said if they lost everything, they would leverage sales. They would leverage this one thing. If they lost everything, all of their companies, the thing that they would hop back into is exactly what I am preaching in this video. They would become entrepreneurs. They would develop high skill sets. They would develop themselves with a high caliber skill set that business owners want, that can generate money forever. Sales is if you know sales, you'll forever be able to generate money. That's just the end of it. I know you guys have heard that before because I've heard it a lot. That's why I hopped into this, right? And to understand that, I'm also going to go over how every single business operates. But this is really, really important. If these billionaires that will make more money than majority of you guys, or sorry, the population, the 7.5 billion people on this planet, they would leverage this one thing, and they're the top 1% of the 1%, maybe that's saying something. Maybe that's saying, oh, huh, maybe if these guys are so rich and they lost everything, they would still hop back into this. Maybe I should take a look into why, Just a thought. You've never heard this guy talk about dropshipping. You've never heard this guy talk about dropshipping. You've never heard this guy talk about dropshipping either. Ever. Right? And the principles that also they understand is they also understand how business works. And that's what I'm also going to cover. Traffic. There's three pillars to every single business. Three pillars. Traffic, sales, ecosystem to scale. That is all business is. Traffic, sales, ecosystem to scale. Three main pillars of every single business. All right. Now, one of the core pillars in business, traffic, right? Which also means leads, which means consumers, which means buyers, which means people interested in your businesses. Traffic is just marketing. Marketing is marketing is what takes a thing that works and 100x is the outcome, aka more people buy. All right. And don't be alarmed if this thing looks kind of goofy. I made this starting out as well, but this is one really, really, really big piece of the puzzle for every single business. You can pause this video, you can kind of look and go through the 4 ways to pretty much generate and how people generate leads, which is like ads, organic outreach, and then referrals. Those are only 4 ways that you'll ever need to make people buy more stuff. You guys can go pause and look at that. But the second thing, the main heart of the business, which is the number one driver in any business, is sales, right? And it's the number one thing in business, and the entry level is so low, which is why I don't understand why more people are not going into it, right? So if you can develop a really good skill like sales, you can make money, understand how money and transactions really work, which is the number one business skill set. Like I said, 3 billionaires said publicly. I have seen videos and podcasts of these guys talking about this. They would all hop back into sales. And I emphasize that a lot. You'll hear me say high caliber skill set because I need to emphasize it to you guys because beginners are getting pushed towards models that just don't work. They're outdated and they suck. And no beginner should be going into that. As a beginner, you need to learn real skill sets first, right? So you can pause this as well, go take another look at it. But the last thing is the ecosystem of scale, right? This is the mechanism that allows businesses to replicate what they did at scale and go from hustler to boss, which is true financial freedom, right? And nobody talks about this on the internet. Nobody will tell you that. And these are like $10,000 courses that these guys are charging, crazy. But although the business will always fail if the sales department sucks, like basically it doesn't matter if the business completely crumbles. If you know sales, you will always be able to make money. And then no matter how good your ecosystem is, and no matter how good your traffic is, no matter how good you are at marketing, if your sales suck, you can't make money. And I say that because it basically means it will always be needed, no matter what business you start. Sales is the irreplaceable skill set that beginners need to learn first before starting anything. All right. And that's exactly why I started one of my companies as well. We're coming to the end of this presentation here. I know I kind of yapped a lot. If you stayed to the end of this video, I appreciate you guys for watching. But this is exactly why I started to innovate with my business partner. All right, because I wanted to partner with the best of both worlds, the best businesses that I got access to when I started out, and the best talent and the people that want to become the best talent as well. Because it's really in demand right now. For people that are really, really good at sales, right? So that's why I started this company, Innovate. And these are just some of the people, if I scroll down, that I worked with. But I made a presentation on this in another YouTube video that you guys can go watch. Please go watch because it can change your guys' life forever and get you everything that you've ever wanted. That R8, that Pent. So and these are the people that I've also been able to luckily work with. I don't want to say luckily because I grinded my ass off to work with these people, but But these are also the people on my platform, right? That make a lot of money. You might see some similar faces, but these are all business owners that need entrepreneurs. Every single one of these guys, I have placed entrepreneurs with. I've worked with these guys, right? And this just goes to show that it's in demand. All of these people make a lot of money and would pay a lot of money to have better talents, better people at sales, remote closing, appointment setting. All right. A lot of these guys are like rich. So if you want more info on Innovate, because I know I haven't dropped an in-depth video on this new company that I launched as well, there's going to be a link in the description, all right, to check out my stuff and also to book a free clarity call with my team to understand more about this stuff. Because I know I would want that when I started out, because a lot of this shit on the internet just sucks. It's terrible. There's no real value in it. There's a bunch of edits that'll tell you mindset, that'll tell you this, yada, yada, whatever. And you can't actually use that stuff and go out and make money tomorrow. That is why I make these videos the way that I do. Okay. So if you want more info on Innovate, there's going to be a link in the description to book a free clarity call with my team to get more context on what I'm talking about. And I have hours of free stuff on my YouTube. All right, so I hope you guys got a lot of value from this video, and no, I'll see you guys on the next one.